Hi guys, and welcome to another free intuition mini masterclass. So this one is all about the science of intuition, and so we're going to dive into one of the two key areas of the science that I talk about when I run my intuition courses. So the one that I'm not going to dive into today talks about the inherent interconnectedness of everything. Now we're not going to dive into that. What we are going to dive into is a thing called the heart brain. And I think that the heart brain is really, really fascinating. And it's one thing that I want to talk about again and again and again. So I want to explain that to you today. And we're going to do a very brief little practice as well. So let's talk about the heart brain, because this is really key when it comes to the science of intuition. Now, if you've seen my mini masterclass on local intuition and non-local intuition, you'll know that this non-local intuition is what describes us being able to access things outside of our environment, our time and space location. And so one of the ways that we can do that is by privileging our heart brain. So what is the heart brain? So yes, of course, we've got this cranial brain. This is our logic, reasoning mind, and this obviously is very much in charge a lot of the time in our day-to-day life as we go about our to-do lists, dinner, kids, that sort of stuff, work. Now, the heart brain is a cluster of 40-odd thousand neural cells that is located in the anatomical heart. So there's a lot of people who will also mention as well, when we talk about the heart brain, the gut brain. Now with the gut brain, yes, there are those neural cells, but there's fewer of them and they're not in a cluster. They're spread out throughout the gut. Whereas in the heart, the 40-odd thousand that are in the anatomical heart are in a cluster. So they're in a cluster together. Now this cluster of the 40-odd thousand neural cells that is located in the anatomical heart has been demonstrated to have the largest electromagnetic field of any part of our physical body. I think that's really quite interesting, because if we understand that everything is energy and that we are energetic beings giving and receiving information all of the time, and that we are living in an energetic field, the infinite field, the one mind, however you like to describe it, then what that means is that if the heart produces the largest electromagnetic field, the heart brain, of any part of our physical body, then it makes sense that we would want to be privileging our heart brain. Now, when we're going about our everyday lives and we're, picking up the kids from school, or we're going to the supermarket to buy groceries, or whatever it is that we're doing for our jobs, or whatever it is that we're doing around the house, if we are not privileging our heart brain, we are making it a little bit more difficult for ourselves to receive our intuition. Because our intuition is readily available, it is always there, ready to access us, but we are the ones who make that difficult. And so by privileging our heart brain, we then make it a little bit easier for us to receive that intuition, to then move into an intuitively intelligent state. And so what we do by privileging our heart brain, I mean moving out of our cranial brain, our analytical, process-driven brain, and privileging our heart. Now we do that by actually dropping out of our head and into our heart. Not just a nice little saying. There is actually some real good reason for that when we're talking about intuition. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't receive energetic information intuitively without privileging your heart, but it makes it a heck of a lot easier. And what it also does is it allows you to trust. It allows you to trust your intuition more, because you are in that space where you're not so busy, you're not constantly firing off things, and you're also enabling yourself to be still. And when you are still and when you are silent, you also allow that ego to kind of just settle down. Your parasympathetic nervous system is like, okay, we're safe to be here. Your physiological response is not one that is, quite reactive and quick. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a little practice to experience privileging your heart brain. So if it is safe for you to do so and you're able to close down your eyes with me, please do listen along and join me. Perhaps if not, come back, hit pause, come back a little bit later and find yourself a time and space where you won't be disturbed. So what we want to do is we want to privilege our heart brain. We want to privilege that part of us that has the largest electromagnetic field of any part of our physical body. And the way we do that is with a practice called heart congruence. And this heart congruence practice is something that anyone who does my intuition training is told to do as often as possible. As often as possible. You simply cannot do it enough. And you want to be congruent with your heart so that you are then using this gateway, this portal that allows you to access that one mind, that energetic field, whatever you prefer to call it. The way you can access it is easier for you because you're actually privileging this part of you that has that huge electromagnetic field. So the way we do that is we take a moment, we find ourselves a comfortable seated position if we can, where we won't be disturbed preferably, and we close down our eyes. So if you are joining me, please do that with me now. Close down your eyes. And then we're going to take a nice deep breath in through our nose, filling our belly, holding at the top of the inhale for as long as is comfortable for you before exhaling out through the mouth with an audible sigh. Letting it all go. Taking another deep breath in through the nose now. Fill up your chest and belly and hold. And exhaling out through the mouth when you're ready. With a nice big audible sigh, and you'll feel your body relax in doing that. Keeping your eyes closed, by having our eyes closed and our breath deepened, we are signaling to our physiology, to our parasympathetic nervous system, that we're very safe. We wouldn't close our eyes if we weren't safe. We wouldn't close our eyes and we wouldn't deepen our breath if we didn't feel safe. So what that does is our cranial brain can settle down. We can move out of that busy beta brainwave state and drop down into our heart brain, privileging our heart brain, slowing ourselves down, allowing ourselves to more clearly receive without that mind chatter. And then we bring the palm of our hand and place it gently at the center of our chest, just resting it there. No need to push it forcefully. And with this element of physical touch, we're signaling to our physiology that we are choosing to defer to our heart in this moment, defer to the wisdom of our heart's intelligence, that our heart brain is in charge. And you'll notice as you take those breaths and you close your eyes and you bring this touch to the center of your chest, that things slow down a little. Go ahead now and bring to mind something simple that you are deeply, deeply grateful for. Keeping your eyes closed and your hand upon your chest. Once you have that thing that you are deeply grateful for, keep your mind focused on it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hand ourselves over to that gratitude. We're going to begin to feel that gratitude using that focal point, that person, that place, that event, that memory, whatever it is that you are deeply, deeply grateful for. By using that as a focal point, we're going to begin to cultivate this gratitude, begin to feel it, allow it to expand within you, allow it to fill you. Every fiber of your being, every cell. As this gratitude moves like wildfire through your body, you hand yourself over to this feeling of gratitude, and it just feels so good. Anything that is not gratitude just melts away until you are one with this feeling state of gratitude, from the top of your head right down to each of your fingers and the tips of your toes, everything in between. Deeply, deeply grateful and feeling it to your core, radiates from you. We're going to take a moment here to go a little further. I'm going to give you a few moments in silence to expand your focus and attention on this feeling state as much as possible. Go ahead and do that now. Allow it to grow further and further, expanding, perhaps even beyond your physical body, perhaps bathing your energy body, which is an extension of your physical body, in that gratitude. Perhaps you have so much gratitude that you fill the entire room or space in which you are currently located. And just in these last few moments, going a little further still now. See if you can cultivate even more gratitude. Let it bring a smile to your face. And take a nice deep breath in now. Fill your chest and belly and hold. Then let it go with a big sigh out through the mouth. Returning your hand back to your lap or wherever feels comfortable for you. And blinking open your eyes. Now, if you've shared me for this practice, whether you're here live or listening back on the recording a little later, I'd love to hear from you what that experience was like. For me, it is such a rich and deep experience. I practice this every day, at least once a day, if not many times more. This practice of heart congruence aligns me to the heart brain. It allows me to drop out of that cranial brain, that busy beta brainwave state, and drop down from beta perhaps to alpha. And depending on how experienced you are with meditation, maybe even theta. But in that brief practice, you've probably just dropped down out of that busy beta brainwave state, and you're getting to meet and become acquainted with alpha brainwave state. That is such a delicious practice, and I thank you so much for taking the time to join me. And this is something that you can do very, very often. The women who do my intuition courses do this regularly. This is the exact practice that I do when I prepare to do any of my intuitive work. And so when you do intuition training with me, this is one of the key practices that we start very early on in the 10-week process. And you are encouraged, strongly encouraged, to do it often, to do it as often as you possibly can. Because the more often you move out of that busy beta brainwave state and drop down into alpha, privilege your heart, have that silence, have that stillness, it is so much easier for you to receive your intuition. And then it becomes easier for you to trust it and actually act upon it. Because the issue for most of us is not that we are not intuitive, we're already intuitive. It's biological makeup. More on that in another masterclass, but the idea that we do not trust ourselves is quite possibly the biggest impediment that we find. We don't trust ourselves enough. We have to receive this intuition and then decide whether it's worth acting upon based on a variety of factors. And the more often you do heart congruence, the easier it becomes to just act upon it, to receive and then trust. So if that interests you and you'd like to come and do some intuition training with me, then please do. I'll pop a little link into the comments so that you can see the details. So that first one, the intuitive intelligence one, is the link for my upcoming 10-week course that starts on the 23rd of June. Now, this incoming round, I suppose, or upcoming round, is the last time that it will be offered at this price. I have added a bunch more inclusions in this round that kicks off a little bit later on in June from when I'm sitting here and recording this for you. So if you would like to get it at this price point, please do reach out and get in touch. There's a couple of payment options. You can pay up front and save some bucks. Otherwise, you can pay it off monthly with 3 monthly installments. Alternatively, I've also set up in the back end of my system a COVID payment plan, which is a 10 weekly payment plan, just to make things a little bit more manageable if COVID has impacted your cash flow and your income situation. So you won't find the 10-week one on the website. You will have to contact me directly for that. Please do. I openly invite you to do that, and I can send you the link to that. So the 10-week payment plan is the monthly amount, the total, just divided over the 10 weeks. So you'd pay the same amount anyway, and it's just one of those things that I've done to make this more accessible during the weird and wonderful times that we have found ourselves in. So if you'd like to come and join us, please do register your interest by clicking on, and I will put this in, this little EAP URL that I've just shared for you guys. There is a free masterclass that I did, a big 60-minute masterclass on increasing your intuition in 3 simple steps. That's a little taste test of it. You've got a little taste test of this in this mini masterclass, but if you'd like a little bit more to decide whether my teaching style and the content is right for you, then that little EAP URL there is the perfect place to start. It's a 60-minute masterclass. You listen in, you do a couple of practices in the masterclass, and then you've got some information about how that works with intuition. So if that tickles your fancy, please do make some time to watch that. The doors close to this program on the 19th of June. The reason for that is we start on the 23rd, and you get a welcome pack in the mail, in the post from me, and I want to get that to you as quickly as possible. So if that interests you, please do reach out, book yourself a 20-minute chat, come and chat with me for 20 minutes, and we can talk about whether this program is right for you. But it's the kind of thing where I don't really need to convince you, because the way that this program and that this work works is that I don't have to do any convincing. When I was a participant and I did this program as a trainee, I just knew, I could feel it within me. I was drawn to it. I didn't have to be convinced. I didn't have to be sold to. So hopefully this mini masterclass has given you a little taste test of what it's like. And if you've got that little inkling, then please do reach out. Please do send me a message, book yourself a 20-minute chat. We can talk about whether it's right for you, and I can answer all of the questions that you might have. All right, that's it from me. Thank you so much for joining me here, either live or listening back on the replay. And as always, if you've got any questions, please reach out and let me know. Take care, and bye for now.